Eddie.
Yeah, so you can talk about that.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll
Hi.
News post-credit show.
Once again, not-
Do we need like a giant like
attention.
sign that says like
Pay
live,
attention.
live, off, applause now.
Pay attention.
Welcome to the
No, just for me, not for anybody else.
welcome to the Barrel Roll News post-credit show for July 20th, 2019, where we talk about the movies we've watched, games we've played,
Life experiences,
life
too.
things and nerd stuff, mostly nerd stuff.
Well, yes, because if we just did life experiences, that would just...
Oh boy,
that would bore you to death.
let me tell you how boring
You
it
would
is.
click that
I
unsubscribe
really
button
want to
real
buy.
quick.
We're looking to buy a house right now. That is not exactly thrilling entertainment.
Super excited.
That is not. It is exciting, but not thrilling.
Not for anybody else.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll News post-credit show. My name's Tony.
Chris.
Let's
I'll start this off.
Okay, let's
I'll
let's
do
do
it.
this.
Well, actually, you go.
I'm
You
just,
go.
I'm just
'cause
gonna make sure the audio is going first here, but yeah.
Go on.
Okay.
You go. I got my
So
thing.
so this week has been pretty thin for me. I just had a lot of stuff happening, but post credit show wise, I played some Call of Duty.
Yeah, we did.
and then I can shoot people.
Well, you found your groove now.
Yeah, because suppressors make me shoot better.
Apparently.
Suppressors
It's really weird.
suppressors make me play better.
It's really weird because like the opposite. I hate the suppressors.
And I think I know what you're talking about. How the suppressor in Call of Duty Modern Warfare it reduces the power because I'm finding I can't really shoot through walls as well.
You need the bullet penetration.
Which I do have that perk. Wait, hold on. I can't tell.
I think it's called deep penetration.
I can't. They didn't think about that when they made that perk.
I think they
Perk.
did. I think it was
Perk.
intentional.
Perk. Yeah, so been playing a lot of that, basically just with you guys.
Oh yeah.
I don't even play the single player anymore, and
Anyway.
I'm really looking forward to the reboot coming out this November or whatever. Put it
Yeah.
something like that. Really looking.
It's always
forward.
November for Call of Duty.
It's always November. It's never not November.
Yeah.
Been playing that with you guys, and earlier this week I got an email from Pokemon actually, that I will actually be attending the World Championships in Washington D.C. in August.
That's exciting.
That is pretty cool. It is.
And it was your first time going?
It is my first time not only going to Worlds, it's going to be my first time being invited by Pokemon. So they're actually going to be covering like 90% of the costs to go down there.
Nice.
So they're flying me out, putting me in a hotel, feeding me for the majority of the time I'm there.
I would hope so.
Yeah, right. And among other perks, but it does come with a lot of responsibilities because I will be participating as a judge.
Yeah.
For the card game, so there's going to be a lot of stuff on my shoulders. But yeah, looking forward to that in August. So
Is it a big difference then between
this is
for judging wise? Like it's always there's always kind of the pressure of judging, but I guess this is bigger.
This is the
stakes.
This is the biggest tournament of the year. Like this is like the one I went to Columbus. It was a fairly large tournament. It was the biggest one in North America. But this one in DC, everyone around the world is being invited who qualified for the tournament. Basically, there's going to be a little less people, but the stakes are much higher. The first place, I think you're playing for $50,000.
Nice.
Like first place, second place is like 25, or maybe 30.
Do those guys get everything paid for them
Yes.
too when they go out?
Depends on how much you qualified for during the whole year.
Yeah.
So how Pokemon works is when you play in a tournament, you earn championship points if you get the top 4 finishers or whatever.
Yeah.
And so throughout the year, you keep total of how many championship points you get.
Okay.
And so the qualifier this year, you needed 550 points. And a regular tournament, you can get anywhere from 15 to 50 championship points. Regionals, you get a little bit more. But what they do is the top 16 players in each region gets a travel stipend to go to Worlds.
Yeah.
And so for Canada, unfortunately, we are mixed in with North America. So we're Canada and U.S.
Yeah.
So the top 16 players in U.S. got a travel stipend. I think if you're top 4, you get the whole trip paid for you,
Oh, okay.
which was really, really cool. That's a really cool incentive to play harder.
Yeah, yeah.
In Europe, it's the same thing. I think it's like top 32. In Australia, I think it's like top, I want to say top 8 or something like that, because it varies depending on how many players are in that region and how many people are playing for that year. But yeah, like players can earn money to go to these events, to
Okay.
earn more money to go to the next
The better
event.
you do, the
So,
more it's paid for.
It's
the more
essentially
you can dip into the
essentially. And I think the nice
hotel
flex,
bar.
basically, what I think the nice flexible thing is, if you are under the age of 18,
Yeah.
you can actually squirrel that money away in the scholarship
Oh, nice.
for post secondary. So it's not just about cash earnings.
Yeah.
You can take that if you want, but I think, I don't know if you get more if it's a scholarship, but they definitely encourage you to use it for a scholarship, which is really cool.
Cool.
And of course, if you're over the age of 18, you just use it. Just use it. Go to school. If
You
you
don't
want
go to school if you're over 18.
Esports, baby.
Yeah. That was another thing I read. I
Mm.
keep hearing on news where GameStop, I think it might be just the States, where GameStop is going to stop doing kind of what they're doing with some stores and turn it into an esports training centers.
I don't want to live on this planet.
That's what they're doing. I read that somewhere. I can't remember where it was.
At least with
That's
like
awesome though. They're
that's at least with like card games like Magic and Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, like there's a set of strategies and that anyone can pick it up, the same 60
There's
cards.
strategies in video games.
Yeah, but it's all about reflexes. And
Kind
it super is.
Kind of.
It super is. So, but yeah, in DC in middle of August. So look forward to, if you after our show, they'll be live streaming the entire event
Nice.
all weekend long. If I don't judge in the main event, I will be judging in what I suspect will be in the DC Open, which is a separate side tournament, but it's a big tournament. It's like 800 players,
Okay.
I think.
So when did you say it was?
August 14th is when, or
Okay.
August 15th is when it's gonna officially start happening. But
Okay.
I'll be there a couple days before to get acquainted with what they
The
want me to do.
systems
What they
and
want me to do.
everything.
I don't know. This will be the first time.
It's exciting.
It's really cool. I'm super. It's kind of funny because I joked about it last year. Like, oh, I guess I'm gonna go to DC next year, because my intentions was just to go to DC and volunteer or be like a spectator.
Yeah.
Just to go.
Yeah.
But what I've gotten, what the judges and the staff have kind of talked about it, is the golden ticket. Essentially, is what it is. You get to go to Worlds and staff it, and you get that experience on your resume, among other perks and benefits as well.
Cool.
So looking forward to that. I got that email earlier, and unlike the Columbus one, the person was just like, just talk about it. There's no NDA. There's just go, just talk.
Well, yeah, they want to build up the hype on it.
They do. Well, they want to build up the hype, but it's also coming really fast. It's
That's
really
true.
fast. Like, I was actually surprised how late they withheld the application process.
Well, that might be
for this.
part of the not talking about it. Is it's already late enough? Who cares?
Yeah, and that's the piece of, like, it's happening. We're gonna have judges there for both the video game and the card game and Pokken.
Yeah.
Although you don't really need a judge for Pokken. Everything just happens on the Switch. It just happens. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty. Other than that, it's been an uneventful week for me. Stuff has happened, but that's neither here nor there.
Nope.
Neither here nor there. What have you been up to?
Uh,
What have you been up to, sir? I'm gonna make sure the audio is working. So,
It is still
it is
working.
working, but I don't know if it's coming out of this thing, or like that thing, or like.
Will this speak really loud?
I think it's coming out of that thing. Okay. Yeah. Go on. Continue, sir.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I've been continuing my Diablo 3 adventures.
And you're on PS4 for that, right?
Yes. This is my grind to get my hardcore character to beat Diablo and to beat.
And hardcore is
Yeah,
that's the
right.
one where like you get one life, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, I don't know why I've had difficulties with before. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention before. You can go hardcore mode, but you can set the difficulty to super easy.
Yeah, I think it's a separate difficulty slider.
It is.
That's different. It's just a mode. It's not like the difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So if I die on this, I'm done. But I set it to the easiest difficulty.
That's
Not that I'm walking through people, but it's like I'm not. My health is like, and it's
That super reminds me of the trophies that I used to get for Rock Band, where it would be one of the trophies was I think it's you had to play every song. I think it's Rock Band 2. You had to play every song back to back, no pausing, no stopping, and no failing.
Yeah.
But they didn't specify the difficulty, so I just set it to all easy, and I just sat there for like, I think it was like 2.5 hours, just like mindlessly like,
Yeah.
strumming a bar. So I totally understand. Like that's you can game the trophies. They don't specify the difficulty.
Nope. You take advantage of this. I've learned that. That's one thing I've learned over the years with the trophies is don't make it harder on yourself than you have to.
Of course.
I remember the first one, the platinum I got was Uncharted.
I got that one too. That was my first platinum.
I didn't realize that it's the difficulty stacks. So I just went through every difficulty. I played that game about 5 times through.
Oh God.
Because I was like,
you poor soul.
I was like, oh, I get it, and then I find out later it stacks. Oh, I could have only done like 2 playthroughs and I would have been fine. Nope. I played that game like 5 times.
If you ever want to platinum the Uncharted 4, did you? Okay.
I haven't even played the 4 yet.
Do you have it?
Yes.
How? Disc or digital?
Digital.
Okay, so there's a way you can game the crushing trophy.
Okay.
Spoilers. No, there's no spoilers here, but like there's a scene at the end of the game where it's like an epilogue.
Yeah.
And once you do the epilogue, the game checks for the trophy completion. Well, the game
so you switch it to.
So the game auto saves right before that.
Yeah.
So you switch the difficulty right before that, and then you just walk to the end, and then you get the difficulty for all, or the trophy for all of them below crushing. They patched that out of the disc for.
Probably the digital.
No. The disc one. You need the disc one to do that.
Yeah.
You can't do it on the digital because you can't. Can you uninstall patches on the PlayStation? I think you can uninstall patches on
You
games.
can uninstall it.
Yeah, but as soon as you start reinstalling
I
from
don't
the
think you
store, so you need the disc for that.
Yeah. I'm fine. Uncharted has never been a super hard game to.
Just a worthwhile game to play. Uncharted 4 is just.
Well, it's fun. I get frustrated at the crushing, but it's not like I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. I remember doing Uncharted 2 and crushing, and it was. If that game wasn't as cool or as good as it was, I wouldn't have had a good time.
Yeah, and I mean with the new Uncharted, they have those time trials too, which are more of a pain in the butt than anything. But that's another thing. I'm continuing the grind with Diablo 3.
Diablo 3 trophy. Is that the only one you have left, or?
Oh no, I have several.
Or will you be able to like scratch them off as like during this one playthrough that you're doing?
I will get 2 more out of this. 2 higher end ones, I think. I'd have to double. I might get 3.
I imagine one that's like don't complete the game without dying.
Well, that's hardcore mode in general.
But, I wasn't sure if there's another trophy for that. I guess that makes sense.
And then with that, this is part of the once I beat the game, I have to get this character level 70, and that's part of a bigger. I have to get 6 characters to level 70. It's not fun. I got 1.
I was just gonna say, what's your count at?
I got 1.
I'm sure you can game that and set it to the easy difficulty, and then just find a place to grind for sheeps.
It's time.
Just grind for sheep. What you do is you put an elastic band around your controller in the right way so that you're moving and then attacking in an orderly fashion, and then you attack the monsters that respawn, and then just go to work.
It really helps with the character I'm using. I have minions, and as I'm doing the Witch Doctor right now on the hardcore, and I have 4 zombie dogs that follow me around. Which I also have a thing added to that where it's every once in a while I can bring up another one for 60 seconds, so I could have more for a little bit. I also have an abomination with me, so I have five things, and then I have the companion. So I have 6 other people with me on easy mode, and I'm just running through.
Just rip right through it.
Well, I mean, things take damage because it depends on if they're special.
Well, I mean, you get into the groove of like, oh, I know that this spell will do this much more damage if I get the splash damage just probably helps a lot. Yeah, splash attacks.
Well, I do my blow darts move. I can shoot super fast with it, and what also helps too is my zombie dogs have a ability on them that whatever damage I take, they take some of the damage away from me, and then there is a farther one later on that I haven't unlocked yet that the more they attack, they heal me. And if my bar is already just doing that, and because I heal super fast, I'm gonna just run through everything without losing any health. I can run into the middle of whatever. So
Well,
it's a grind.
well,
I know that.
Welcome to Diablo.
The 6 characters at level 70 is such a pain in the butt. Such a pain. But other than that,
At least it's not all characters to level 17.
well, there's only like 8 characters. 7 characters.
I
7
thought,
characters.
I thought there was like 15.
Not that much.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, game-wise, I've started Spyro 2.
Spyro.
That's the first time I think I've played this, because the introduction video, I'm like, I don't recognize anything.
I can one up you. I don't think I've ever played. Why do we have the spoiler check on? Let me take that off.
Well,
I don't
that's
think
all spoilers.
I've never played Spyro. Why?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a button for that?
He does it somewhere. I don't know where he has it, though.
I thought there was a button for it.
No. He was
Either.
clicked it.
There's not spoilers.
There's no spoilers.
Well, it will be, but not until...
We will make you aware if
not
there
in a
are
sec-
spoilers.
Not in a second. Anyway, so Spyro 2.
Yeah, Spyro 2. Not bad game. It's exactly like the first one. I figured out a new move in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there. I figured out a new move in that. I don't know if I had that in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's you do the double fly and then you press that hover button and you kind of go a little...
Maybe
farther.
they added it in.
Well, no, I think it was originally part of 2. I just don't know if it was part of 1. It's a different story. It's I dislike one of the additional characters they added into it, because back in the other game, you collect the gems.
Yeah.
And you just collect them. That's all you do.
But
This one, there's a person. Oh, you want a new ability? It costs money.
I can do that.
It costs you
for
gems.
money. I can do that for money.
Or this place doesn't unlock without gems.
So
It's forcing you to collect the gems. And it's like,
I can let you get there for money.
it is really annoying. I hate that character because, I mean, I guess it gives a purpose to the gems, but still, like, it's why. That's just my only pet peeve.
Well, maybe they're trying to add more gameplay to the gems.
I guess.
It's the only thing I can think
But I'm on a mission to collect all the talismans from different worlds. Once you kind of finish the main thing in the worlds, they give you a talisman. Once I collect all the talismans, I can start taking on the boss, Ripto.
Riptor, because he's the villain in the second
He's
one.
a tiny little guy.
The villain.
Okay.
Villain.
Other than that, that's all I've done for games.
Cool.
I think we already mentioned Call of Duty. But, I've watched a fair amount of movies.
Oh, good. Cool.
I Escape from New York.
I've never seen. How is that? It doesn't age well.
Great.
It doesn't age well, then I'm assuming.
I can see why, when you talk about 80s action movies, that this wasn't really mentioned.
How much synth is in it?
I think it's a cult following, honestly, I think, with this movie.
Well, I think unless you're Hideo Kojima, like, you don't really talk about this movie. Because he loves Escape from New York, I think.
Well, I could see why, because the main character's name is Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken, he's got an iPad, she's fighting his way out of whatever, God knows what.
He's trying to sneak in to get someone out.
It's basically an analogy to
Yep.
Metal Gear.
And the entire time, like, okay, this is just Snake running through everything.
But it doesn't age that as well as you think?
I don't find it did. I had a hard time focusing on this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was made in 81, I believe.
Yeah, it's quite an old film.
It has Kurt Russell in it.
That's, I think, my biggest piece is I love Kurt Russell. I love all those 80s action heroes.
I mean, it was, like I said, it was your typical 80s action flick, and this one just did not keep my attention like other ones have.
Escape from New York, 1981. Whoa, that's so good. That's classic. There was a couple of them, weren't there?
The next one was made in 96, Escape from LA.
That's the one. Yeah. There's a few of them.
Nope, there's only
Was there only two?
two. I think there's talk from a reboot.
I would totally be okay with a reboot. Get Hideo Kojima to direct that shit.
No.
Yeah.
Do that.
The movie would never come out, and when it does, it would be incomprehensible.
No, thank you.
Nanomachine, son.
No, thank you.
What?
So yeah, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great. Another movie I watched was Blazing Saddles. Finally, for the first time.
I don't remember. I remember watching. I don't remember it. I remember watching as a kid.
The Western.
I know it's Western. It's Mel Gibson, or not
Yeah,
Gibson. Mel Brooks. It's Mel Brooks stuff, right? But like it's.
Amazing.
I watched it as a kid. I don't remember it though.
Amazing how
I
much
know Nick's-
stuff they used to make fun of back in the day.
I know Nick has a huge reference for Mel Brooks, and of course it's like the guy's a masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
The guy's a genius, right? But I don't remember watching that movie. I don't remember watching.
I've always watched parts of it. I never watched the full thing.
Maybe that's what had happened with me as a kid.
So, yeah.
Although Robin Hood Men in Tights.
You could. There were so many references in that movie that today would just offend everyone.
I'm okay with that.
So much.
They don't make them like they used to, basically.
No.
That's basically it.
And then another movie, of course, was Pet Sematary, the new one.
I totally didn't realize A, that movie came out, and B, it's digital and DVD, Blu-ray came out already.
Yeah.
I didn't like. That was a really stealth, like in and out
No, it was there. They just I don't think they put a big
marketing piece on
marker.
it.
Yeah.
No.
I think there was a lot there. I've never seen the original, so I have nothing to base it off of.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I've seen
it's
it
just
either.
full. Honestly, I watched.
Is it creepier or?
I wouldn't even say it's creepy.
I would say like try to compare it to like maybe It or something like that, because like
it. No, it has no. It does not compare to it.
no, hey,
It knocks it out of the park. This is
because it's like Stephen King.
full
It's not
of
horror.
dumb choices.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't.
Dumb choices like the characters or
Like for it, there were some dumb choices in that, but it was the clown messing with you, so you couldn't help it sometimes.
But like this is like
This is
like the characters are making dumb decisions. Like
Do you know the premise of Pet Sematary?
something about like you bury stuff in the cemetery and it comes back. So they started with like
cat.
the pet cat, and then they're like, oh, now the person's dead, so we'll
Yep.
put a person in there, and then they come back, right? But then they don't. It's not all
You,
there.
when you bring something back,
It's
it
not-
doesn't come back right.
It's not all there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I think I know the premise of. Pet
It was
Sematary.
a really weird ending.
Oh, it's disappointing.
It was a. This is the way we're going with that type thing. It was.
It's on my radar, but I don't think I'm not excited.
Don't rush out to go see it.
I would rather watch like the Amityville stuff. I think because I'm interested in the Annabelle stuff.
It's. I get where the guy is coming from in this movie, that he's grieving about things,
Mm-hmm.
and so his thought process isn't right.
I'm
Not
just
yet.
I'm just checking. You're never thinking I.
6:15 is gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're not even close to that.
Time travel.
Yeah, it was a decent movie. I don't rush out to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
Would be my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. So what you're saying? Maybe Netflix.
If it comes to it,
Okay.
I have to watch the original. I always like those because that's why I watched when it came out in theaters for us, the new one. I went back and watched the movie.
I heard
TV movie one.
that Tim Curry one. I heard is not the same.
He did the role well,
I suspect now.
but it was aged because it's back in the 80s.
Perhaps maybe
And it's
maybe,
a TV movie.
maybe this is like maybe a bad analogy about it, but I kind of get the impression that the Stephen Curry one was very much how Joker was in the first Batman movie, where he was like that comical but still like serious. And
I
then
wouldn't
and then we
compare
see
it
the
that
new
way.
Joker stuff.
I wouldn't compare him that
No,
way. I think
okay.
he was.
I don't think I've seen the Tim Curry one.
the Tim Curry one was like
Because it was comical, but
he
it was
he turned on a dime on that, where he'd laugh at and then he'd go all serious and it'd be like creepy as shit.
But that's the point.
Oh, I
that's the
know,
point of that,
but that
right. So
where the new guy, I can't say his name, one of the Skarsgård brothers.
Sure.
Where he just it's a creepy. Even though he laughs and everything, there is nothing funny about what he's doing. He's just immediately creepy.
Mhm.
So I mean, they both had their bonus moments, I guess. But it was also a TV movie, so they're very limited on what.
How long is that TV movie? It was longer than I thought
It
it
was
was.
like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
It wasn't that long. Like
I-
you could see when you watch when you watch the Blu-ray, it jumps right to the second part,
Mm.
so you can see where they cut, which is kind of like how they did these two It movies. Is one's their kids,
And the second
next
one,
one they're adults,
but
so
they're
you-
still gonna be kids.
Yeah.
They still shot scenes with the kids.
so you can kind of see it. Yeah. And the last thing I watched was Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay, now there's real spoilers, but
Yes. Just as a heads up. So if you want to tune away, we'll give you 5 seconds.
So how did you enjoy the movie? How did you enjoy this movie?
I liked Homecoming better.
Really, you liked Homecoming better, eh? Okay.
Mysterio.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal.
That was perfect.
Jake Gyllenhaal kills this role in both both versions of the character.
It was perfect.
Yeah, like he did it exactly. And we were right. If they didn't do the thing they did with the character, people would riot.
It was an interesting way of doing it.
But it was still, at the end of the day, it was the same. Like, he's just a dude.
Yeah.
He's just a dude.
But like
He's
it
a
was
psychotic dude.
But in the, I just referenced the '90s cartoon, but everything's controlled by him.
Yeah.
Right where he is. This is a team effort.
Yes.
It's not just him.
But like, I think we get a bit of that at the closer to the end, where he's like, I don't care. I'm doing this now. Like, you can see that part of him where he's like, well, I can control these drones myself. Just give me access or give me control to them or whatever. Right?
So I mean, I liked it.
I love
for him. I think the other stuff was kind of, it was good, but I think we've had this discussion many times. Saying the movie is just okay on a Marvel scale, really, it's still a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't, for me, it didn't meet Homecoming.
See, I think we were presented with between Homecoming and Far From Home, we're presented with two very wildly different films too. Like, Homecoming is kind of an origin-y story, but not really.
Yeah.
But Far From Home, it's very much Peter Parker dealing with the effects and stuff with Endgame and what that means
Using
to the
the
rest.
powers.
Using the powers, figuring out where his place is in the world and what he has to do now that there's no Iron Man. Like, now that everything's kind of it has to default to someone.
Him.
And so it sounds like it's gonna be defaulting to Spider-Man.
Which would make sense.
And it does make sense the way that you're right, but it's two wildly different films.
Out of the two, I'd probably go lean towards more Homecoming than this.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, both times for these movies, they've knocked the villains
So
out of the park.
And they still don't have the issue of killing off the villain, because we don't know if he's dead yet. We don't know.
I think they did.
I don't think he is. I bet you he's not. I bet you
hologram.
No. I bet you he's still alive. He was alive, and then they send him to a mental institute because he's nuts.
Maybe.
And then we obviously have the scene at the end where it's
that kind of annoyed me.
what?
A bit. The scene at the second one.
The second one with the
Yeah.
Fury?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about.
Yeah.
That's why we have the spoiler roll
Yes.
up, so we can just go full board into this.
That doesn't bother me as much.
The first one with that, I found the ride along hilarious.
Yes.
Or just, nope, never doing that again.
That is a direct reference to Spider-Man 1. That's a
Never doing that.
100% direct reference to Spider-Man 1.
Her reaction was
Yeah.
great.
J.K. Simmons.
Oh,
J.K. Simmons.
I love that.
Right? And I'm just like, because as soon as they said, like, this footage was released on the controversial website, the Daily Bugle, I'm like, there's only one way that this footage ends, and it is they did it. They did it.
Yep.
I
love that he's back.
He is back. He is. And
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, yeah. As J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
He is back.
Oh.
And they're taking the more modern route.
This is what the game did.
The bit of the game, but a lot of the future Spider-Man Ultimate Comics, the Daily Bugle wasn't as much Daily Bugle. It kind of faded off, as well as J. Jonah Jameson. I think he got fired or something like that from the Daily Bugle.
Oh, probably.
But this takes a more modern approach to the webhead stuff.
Yep.
With he is a menace, and yeah, it's great.
Well, and the big reveal there.
Huge. Like I going into the movie, I knew that I was told that there was a massive cameo, and I didn't know who it was, so I was just expecting like Tobey Maguire to walk across the set or something like that.
That's
Screen.
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just Tobey Maguire. That's the cameo. No, they went full bore into,
Yep.
like they knew, and I kind of suspected that was the way that to introduce J. Jonah Jameson
That would be, yeah.
is like the end of a post credit scene is like, oh, on the Daily Bugle website or on the Daily Bugle they released this piece of information, and then it's just J. Jonah Jameson. I want pictures of Spider-Man.
And they revealed who he is.
That was the okay, yeah.
Mysterio's last breath.
Last breath piece. I've mixed feelings about that.
Well, I mean, when I went with Ross to go see this movie, and I even asked him, like, but I know in Civil War
This happens.
he has revealed who he is.
He does, but they're not. I don't think that they're ready to do that storyline in the movies quite yet, because it requires a lot of things. It requires Peter Parker to be married. It requires him to have a kid. It requires
He's getting
what's that? Mephisto. You need Mephisto.
Do you? No, there's another reference to do that. And there's apparently in the comics there's another way he can do it.
Oh, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay.
Is the Mephisto storyline. I think it was like One Last Wish or something like that.
There is another one.
Which one was that one?
I don't know which time or storyline it was, but apparently Doctor Strange puts him in a bubble and says, "You're fine. I'm going to wipe everybody's memory."
That's too easy. I love.
Doctor Strange can do it.
I would love to see Mephisto more.
I would honestly love to see if Madam Web would do it. You add Madam Web into it and go, okay, well here, I'll just do this for you. Come work for me. I got a job for you.
Right. And I was thinking about that too, like the way they revealed the Daily Bugle, the footage, like the J. Jonah Jameson stuff. I get the impression that going into the next Spider-Man film, or even the next Marvel movie for that matter with Spider-Man, they might spin it in the sense that, like, the Daily Bugle is not a really trusted, reputable source. Like, no one believes the Daily Bugle. But there's going to be, like, the 10% of people that do. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if maybe that's a way they could spin that as, like, his identity was outed. But was it really, though? Do we really trust the Daily Bugle?
Do you trust Mysterio?
Do you trust Mysterio? Do you trust J. Jonah Jameson?
See, but that's where if Mysterio comes back,
right,
you could have that and have something happen where it's revealed to the world that he is a liar.
Yes.
He's tricked us all.
Correct. And that's why I was thinking, like, maybe Mysterio can still stick around. They've got plenty of characters for Sinister Six.
But that's not where the director wants to go with it.
Well, that's not where the director wants to go and where Marvel wants to go is wildly different, right?
The director wants to do Kraven.
I would love to see Kraven.
But would make sense of him going all over the world and popping up on the news all over the world. Yeah. It makes great for Kraven to go, oh, and I can hunt him.
And now Kraven's like, no one believes that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, but I know. And then it's like him in the third film, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that Daily Bugle scene was just, it was great. I could not have asked for anything more.
Well, I love that he's back.
Like, they could, that is the only way to do that scene. With that reveal, with that actor, with that character.
Yeah. And then the second.
So the second one.
Bonus credit. That teased me, and I'm a little. No, I'm.
I heard you like to get teased.
That teased me so.
What do you want? What? I love that they leave it so open.
Not that,
but not
the
like
start of it. When it happened, when Nick Fury and Maria changed, I'm like, oh my god, Skrull invasion.
Yeah.
Secret invasion. Let's do it. And then they phoned Fury, and it's like, oh, you guys are still good.
I get the impression. I get the impression that Marvel is ready to do a secret invasion. I get the impression that they're going to do it the other. They're going to flip it around though. They're going to make the Skrulls.
The Skrulls are the shapeshifters.
Right.
They're ours.
Correct. But I think they're going to flip it around, and say, oh, the Skrulls are a little more. We're a little bit more empathetic towards the Skrulls. Obviously, after Captain Marvel, and obviously with this scene with Nick Fury, I think Secret Invasion will still come. I think
that teased me so hard, and then he made the call, and I'm like, oh, they can't do Secret Invasion now. No.
Well, they can still do Secret Invasion. They're that, like, 15 seconds does not equate to not having Secret Invasion.
Still, that was a tease.
Anything can happen. They could have like rogue Skrull agents around the Earth. We don't know that. We don't.
Oh
know
yeah,
that.
I think
You super don't know that, right?
you could have evil scrolls around still.
So it's like anything can happen, and so.
But I think the bigger thing with that, for other people, because I got pulled in by the shape shifting nonsense.
Nick Fury in space. Nick Fury in space.
I am assuming this is the start of Sword.
It's the highly. There's a high chance Sword will be the next thing.
Which means you have a.
You have Galactus.
You don't have Shield anymore. You have Sword.
In the comics, didn't Sword and Shield used
coexist?
Yeah, like they used
one watched the outer space, and
one
one
was
kept
Earth.
eyes on.
So Sword, like you get so many more possibilities. I think the first thing that comes to everyone's minds is Silver Surfer and Galactus.
Is it?
I think
the first thing that comes
that's
to
the
my
first thing.
mind.
The first thing that comes to my mind because it's like okay, they just got Fox. That's obviously a subject that they're interested in.
I would be surprised if that's what we lean to right off the bat.
Not off the bat, but like that's definitely if they're setting up Sword for something galactic.
Well, that's where Thanos came from, so just keeping an eye on space.
Right. The other segue into it is the Eternals film. That's like it's coming, it's happening, but we just don't know the details. If it's like a period piece movie, or if it's like a modern day movie, or
No
if it's,
idea.
like we don't know. And so this piece could tie in a little bit to Eternals.
Yeah.
Like that's unsurprising.
I think it's more tied to Captain Marvel.
It could be Captain Marvel stuff.
And I think you would, in the next Captain Marvel, this would show that, oh, well, we didn't find a home world for them. I guess they can come live on Earth for a while.
Or they can work as Sword agents.
Or they can live on the moon. And then you could find the Inhumans.
That's currently occupied. Moon is closed.
You could find it.
Inhumans are like everyone's like, what's an Inhuman? Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
I read a news article the other day. It was like this time, like 5 years ago, Inhumans was supposed to be or
a movie.
Yeah, it was supposed to be out as a movie, and everyone's like,
nope.
Here's a TV show.
Not even a thing anymore.
Here's name drops and character drops and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly.
GG.
Overall,
Spider-Man. I liked Spider-Man.
I not that I didn't enjoy it. No, I don't want to take that away from it. It's a good movie, but not up to there. Endgame is still mine, for me personally.
And that's fine because we've been blessed with a lot of good Marvel movies lately.
Yeah,
so
and to say it's not as high as something, that's still way better than most movies.
Better than Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World is my worst movie.
Better than Thor: The Dark World. It's better now by like a fraction of a piece.
It'll be kind of weird though now that we won't have a Marvel movie till next year.
Yeah, like
early.
We're going into the Christmas year or Christmas season, like October to December, with no Marvel movie, and the chances of us getting one in like February, March, or April is pretty thin too.
No, there's one supposed to be one in February.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they figure that's where the Black Widow's.
I was just gonna say that should be done filming soon.
Because that's already filming, so they should be done and editing and everything by then.
Yeah.
Not like Black Widow has a ton of CGI in there, but
we don't know. We don't know.
Shouldn't.
We don't know. I like my tinfoil hat theory of like it's the Natasha Romanoff from the Soul Stone.
Nope.
I'm just saying it could be
back
fun.
in the past with Taskmaster. So excited for that villain.
It could if it's truly Taskmaster, there is so many things they could do.
I find that Marvel has really, since Black Panther, the villains have really gone up there.
Oh yeah, they've stepped up their game.
Maybe not so much in, I guess Captain Marvel was.
Captain Marvel didn't really have a villain.
It was a group.
Yeah.
But like I said, Mysterio. Even I really love the callbacks to Iron Man and Civil War.
Oh yeah, because between those, like Civil War changed the face of the Marvel universe.
But having it was actually Beck's technology.
Oh yeah,
that he used, and in Iron Man 1, the guy getting torn.
I love that callback because I totally forgot about that character.
Well, like,
I wonder if that's the same actor.
It is. I checked.
It is the same actor.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I watched the scene. I specifically YouTubed
I'm sure you could just check it on IMDb.
Obadiah, whatever his name is.
Obadiah Stane was
Obadiah Stane
Yeah.
yelling at scientists.
Yeah.
All you do is YouTube that, and you
the first comment is like, "It's him."
I know it is. You read down the comics. Who is back here because far from home? Yep.
I love that. I love the holographic scene.
And it's
that
really back stuff.
Yeah, where they added what's his name into the scene.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's character.
Well, he was on the side, so it was
He was on the side, but like there's an actual shot from that scene from the first movie where he's not in that shot, so they retconned that a touch.
a little bit.
They retconned it a touch,
But it was a nice little touch.
but it was perfect, and I want to buy a pair of Edith glasses, although they're like way out of my price range. But yeah, no, I loved Far From Home. It is great. It's a good progression of Spider-Man as a character, and seeing him from Homecoming, seeing him in.
I was a little surprised at how he revealed to MJ. That was very abrupt and what?
So I think you think about that as a teenager's perspective. It's like I fucked up. I fucked up.
It wasn't him though. Like she mistaken Beck's technology for his.
Right, but then it's not that. It's in the back of his mind. He's just like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. I gave it the wrong person. I need to. And he go, also, I'm Spider-Man.
And just her reaction. What? I love and the Happy Hogan and Aunt May.
I'm glad they gave Hogan Happy so many like pieces in this movie, more so than I thought.
You work for Spider-Man? I work with Spider-Man.
I love the callback to the plane when he was after Hogan gave him the speech and he ended up making his own suit.
Yeah. Just watch it.
It's basically like Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
It's a direct callback to Iron Man 1. And I'm just like, oh man, they nailed this movie. They made it just nostalgic enough, but new enough.
But you can at this point.
Yeah.
So much.
Mm-hmm.
I loved his shield throw.
Yes, the shield piece.
How does Cap do it?
And that little like not a hammer thing, like mace thing he's got. Yeah.
Yeah, MJ had that.
And I do appreciate that they finally are addressing the long-standing abilities that he has with his Peter Tingle. So I'm glad they're finally like.
I love that that's what they're calling it.
That they're calling. It's going to be called
Peter Tingle.
Peter Tingle.
Are you supposed to stop bullets or dodge bullets? You can't even dodge a banana.
That's not what it works. That's not how it works.
It's not how it works. Peter Tingle?
Peter Tingle. I'm glad that that's addressed, and actually, he
has to focus on it though.
Well, it's because he's still working on it, right? Because you have to imagine he's been Spider-Man for what, like 2 years?
No, longer than that.
No, 2 years.
Since Civil War, before Civil War, before Civil War.
You cannot count the 5 years that he's been gone.
No, I'm not counting that.
Because he's been like about two or so years. Like it's not like he's had those powers for long.
Yeah.
Like he got them 6 months prior.
I guess he's never had to use them as much.
So and we've seen him used in the past, like in the airport scene in Civil War. We saw that. We've seen it at the start of Infinity War when he was on the bus. So he knows he has these powers, but he just has never really. He just doesn't know. Yeah. And so now he knows that he has a Peter Tingle. Yeah. So, and I love the representation of that. I love the Mysterio special effects scene when he starts to realize who Beck really is.
Yeah.
The entire scene in the building complex right before the train. Like that was arguably one of the coolest scenes.
So great.
That was better than some of the stuff I've seen in Doctor Strange. I would argue that it's better than some of the scenes in Doctor Strange.
I think it's on par.
So, I just think.
But that whole scene where he was just.
Also, did you enjoy the slight nod to Marvel mutants or not Marvel zombies?
No. Oh, the
Iron Man coming out of the grave and you kind of see the zombified face. I'm like, oh my god, that's direct reference to
we are
Marvel.
Never getting a cinematic zombie movie.
I know, and that's the closest we'll get.
Yeah.
That's the closest we'll get.
It would have been cool if he would have had Robert Downey there for talking a little bit.
No, I don't think so. I think that takes away from that character, from Iron Man's character. I don't think you get Iron Man in this movie.
No. That's just to voice that zombie part.
Maybe I could see that, like have Robert go like just groan, just groan. You don't even have to say anything, just groan.
Just, like you disappointed me, or just to mess with them a little bit more.
I think that might have been too much. I think that might have been a little, because I think that scene already is kind of fucking with him up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, where's Nick Fury? Yes. where's the wall? Yes.
So gullible.
and that scene was so beautiful too. Like it was just that's why I think it's better than some of the scenes in Doctor Strange. Honestly, like it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Go see it.
It's an excellent film. Thanks. That's
Yes,
it. That's
and
it for
that's
you?
all for me.
That's all from you. That's all from me. That's all for us from this day, from this show.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us today on this post-credit show.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week where we will have a show, question mark? We should have a show.
That's definitely a question mark. At this
We'll
point.
have a show. I'm sure we'll have a show. Either way, we'll see you guys next week. Same great time, same great taste, same bad time. And that's it.
Yes.
Signing up. We'll see you guys next
Bye.
time. Goodbye.